Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, I wanted to read a article and maybe have a comment discussion about this article. But first, don't kill the messenger. I'm simply the messenger. And with that being said, before I read this, I want to acknowledge that indeed we do see inside of Russia, the Russian Federation, a crackdown on dissent. And obviously, if you're against Vladimir Putin, you could find yourself very, very quickly against the state, in fact. And I wanted to acknowledge that before I read what I am going to read, because I think this is important to know and understand as we see the Western media spin on certain events that are taking place. And before you look at a certain nation state as a angelic entity fighting for its very survival, I think you should know at times the level of corruption, the level of anti-democratic processes that take place in some of these nation states that the United States sees as its ally. Even here in the United States, there are things starting to occur that directly concern me very, very much. But I just want to read this article. This came out of the Associated Press, and I'll just start, and you be the judge on what you're hearing. So Kharkiv, Ukraine. Victor appeared nervous as masked Ukrainian security officers in full riot gear, camouflage, and weapons pushed into his cluttered apartment in the northern city of Kharkiv. His hands trembled, and he tried to cover his face. The middle-aged man came to the attention of Ukraine Security Services, the SBU, after what authorities said were his social media posts praising Russian President Vladimir Putin for fighting with the Nazis, calling for regions to succeed, and labeling the national flag a symbol of death. Yes, I supported the Russian invasion of Ukraine. A lot. I'm sorry. I've already changed my mind, said Victor, his trembling voice showing clear signs of duress in the presence of the Ukrainian security officers. Get your things and get dressed, a officer said before escorting him out of the apartment. The SBU did not reveal Victor's last name, citing its investigation. Victor was one of nearly 400 people in the Kharkiv region alone who have been detained under anti-collaboration laws enacted quickly by Ukraine's parliament and signed by President Zelensky after Russia's February 24th invasion. Offenders face up to 15 years in prison for collaborating with Russian forces, making public denials about Russian aggression, or supporting Moscow. Anyone whose actions result in death could face life in prison. Accountability for collaboration is inevitable, and whether it will happen tomorrow or the day after tomorrow is another question, Zelensky said. The most important thing is that justice will be served inevitably. Although Zelensky's government has broad support, even among many Russian speakers, not all Ukrainians oppose the invasion. Support for Moscow is more common among Russian-speaking residents of the Donbass, an industrial region in the east. An 8-year conflict there between Moscow-backed separatists and Ukrainian government forces had killed more than 14,000. Anyway, also, please note the amount of actual Russian speakers in the east. It's probably and is the majority of the population. Some businessmen, civic and state officials, and members of the military are among those who have gone over to the Russian side. And Ukraine's State Bureau of Investigation said more than 200 criminal cases on collaboration have been opened. Zelensky has even stripped 2 SBU generals of their rank, accusing them of treason. A registry of collaborators is being compiled and will be released to the public, said Olinsky Danilov, head of Ukraine's Security Council. He refused to say how many people were targeted nationwide. Under martial law, authorities have banned 11 pro-Russian political parties, including the largest one, which had 25 seats in the 450-member parliament. The opposition platform For Life, which was founded by Viktor Medvedchuk, I think I butchered that, a jailed oligarch with close ties to Putin. I love again the term oligarch, basically a rich dude, but they're called oligarchs. When you referred to Ukraine or Russia. Authorities say pro-Russian activists in southeastern Ukraine, the scene of active fighting, are acting as spotters to direct shelling. One of our key goals is to have no one stab our armed forces in the back, said Roman Dudin, head of Kharkiv branch of the SBU, in an interview with the Associated Press. He spoke in a dark basement where the SBU moved its operations after its building in central Kharkiv was shelled. The Kharkiv branch has been detaining people who support the invasion, call for secession, and claim that Ukrainian forces are shelling their own cities. Well, they are shelling their own cities. Allegations of collaborating with the enemy carry strong historic resonance in Ukraine. And it kind of goes into the whole World War II issue with the Nazis and some of the support that occurred. A person in Ukraine can be detained for up to 30 days without court order, he said. And anti-terrorism legislation under martial law allows authorities to tell defense attorneys... the legislation under martial law allows authorities not to tell defense attorneys about their client's remand. In effect, these people disappear, and for 30 days there's no access to them. The government knows the implications of detaining people over their opinions, including that it risks playing into Moscow's line that Kiev is repressing Russian speakers, but in wartime, officials say freedom of speech is only part of the equation. The debate about the balance of national security and ensuring freedom of speech is endless, Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba told the AP. But I just wanted to kind of cover that real quick. Interesting article. Surprising that the AP put that out there. You don't hear about a lot of this sort of thing that is happening in Ukraine, just like it's happening in the Russian Federation. I get it. I understand. As you compare and contrast and look at what's happening at Ukraine, I think we, in the United States especially, and some other Western nations, we tend to like we would look at one of our pets as a human being and feel for that pet. Well, we kind of do the same thing for Ukraine in terms of looking at it like this beautiful democratic entity, which it's not quite there yet. And I think this is a case example, and then that also compounding the situation that's occurring between Russia and Ukraine is much more complex than, the Russians are invading a sovereign nation, which it is. I get that, but there is a history that goes back further that has to be looked at, that has to be understood in terms of what's happening. And at the same time, no, Ukraine is not an angelic entity, obviously. But just wanted to read that, talk about it, and it'll be interesting to see all the comments. Have a good day, everybody.